Alright, welcome to Talkin Investing. I'm Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to do a Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner update weekend edition. So we have some additional charts that we look at once a week. We're going to go through all of those in this video, as well as the Bitcoin miner big board and the action on Bitcoin itself. So many people have put out their financial statements, and so much is going on in the Bitcoin / cryptocurrency world. I feel like I need to catch up, so be ready for some extra videos over the course of the next week. If you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and if everybody could please smash the like button, I would appreciate it. It helps the video out a lot. And lastly, if you want to become a member of the channel, you can hit the join button on the YouTube page. If you don't see a join button, then you can hit the link below. Members have some members only content, so I do additional videos just for members, and also I do a once a week live stream that is members only, so we'd love to see you there. Okay, let's talk about Bitcoin, because this week was extremely volatile, including hitting a new 2-year low on Bitcoin. So we did take out the summer lows. That is something I didn't think was going to happen. Obviously, this was all as a function of FTX, which at this point now has filed for bankruptcy. Sam Bankman-Fried has stepped down as the CEO, so that's all for another video. But understand, watch some of my previous videos if you're not up to speed on that. That really dictated 100% of the action in the cryptocurrency world, in Bitcoin in specific, and then obviously the Bitcoin miners as a function of that. Okay, so I'm going to start out on this chart. This is the weekend at 11/11, which was just Friday. So this is this Friday versus last Friday. So this is what we've been doing lately. I've added this schedule. So this is the 1 week activity for all the Bitcoin miners in comparison to Bitcoin. Something new happened this week. You're going to see Bitcoin is second last on this list. In gold, at second to the bottom, down 21% on the week. So this week was very upside down. Friday, for the most part, some of these Bitcoin miners got healthy, and they all passed Bitcoin in performance for the week. So that is a first. I don't know what it means. I'm not calling for that to be the bottom or some seismic shift in activity, but this definitely is an outlying event. This is not how it has been working. You got Riot down 8%. You got Marathon down 10%. So, again, those have been leading the pack all along. They did outperform Bitcoin. So despite the fact that this week was a massive roller coaster rides, including Friday, which had all of those huge moves that I showed you, this was a relatively calm week in Bitcoin miners versus what we've been experiencing recently. The biggest move by far is that Bitcoin took out its 52-week low, really its 2-year low, and has now established a lower low. This chart's basically taking a look at how the Bitcoin miners have performed over the last 5 months. So this chart continues to look similar. There are 3 standout companies that I have in green. Marathon is still up 88% from their lows in the summer. All of the Bitcoin miners hit a low somewhere in late June or early July of 2022. That is when Bitcoin also hit its 2-year low. Now, this week, Bitcoin took out that low. So this is the first week Bitcoin is actually below that. Yet Marathon is still Riot is up 33% and HUT is up 26%. Those 3 still stand out, and I have them in green because they're vastly outperforming all of the rest of the Bitcoin miners if you look at the last 5-month window. To put it in perspective, third place drops all the way down to 3% from 26%. And the majority of these are still in the red, which means they are now lower than they were when they hit their lows this summer. Now that's starting to make some sense because at this point now Bitcoin has taken out its summer low. So this is the very first week of the year we can say that Bitcoin is now lower than its summer lows, but it is still performing all in all, although it had a very bad week on the weekly basis, all in all it's performing better than the vast majority of the Bitcoin miners. And some of these miners have been absolutely taken out. We've talked about those. I've done videos on most of these. If you want to see a deep dive, you can just check my channel out. Core Scientific's down 86% from its low of this summer. Argo Blockchain's down 76% from its low of this summer. Mawson's down 60%. Gree 54%. Stronghold 43. So, okay, you got Bitfarms down 18%. I mentioned them because they will be reporting before the bell opens on Monday, and they had a very strange day of activity. On Friday, they were up 22% after being red in the morning. So it'll be very interesting to see how that stock performs and what's in those financial statements. So you can expect to see a Bitfarms video from me by the end of the day Monday analyzing their Q3 financial statements. Okay, and then lastly, the third chart we've been watching on a weekly basis is this is how these stocks have been performing for the last 3 months. So you're going to see Bitcoin is now 30% down from the high that it hit in August. It's actually even down below the low that it hit in June. So, Bitcoin is catching up. This chart looks a little different this week. Yes, it's all gigantic red lines. In that regard, it looks very much the same. All the Bitcoin miners are performing very, very poorly over the last 3 months. However, the multiples at which they're performing versus Bitcoin changed drastically this week because Bitcoin had such a gigantic down week, and the Bitcoin miners, a lot of them, had a big up day on Friday. These stocks have been leveraging 2, 3, 4, 5, or even 6x to the downside of what Bitcoin has in the past, and that's leveling off a little bit. You'll see most of these are a 2x leverage or less. The best performers on these board, TeraWulf's down 43% from its summer highs. That's the best one on the board. The worst one, Core Scientific's down 94% from its summer highs. Argo Blockchain's down 87%. It's basically the same list. Core, Argo, Gree, Stronghold, those are all down 78% or more. And then we jump a little bit. Hive is down 65%. They've hit lower lows. Cypher's down 64%. Bitfarms is down 63%. Mawson's down 62%. And CleanSpark's down 61%. So I will continue to say, in my opinion, Bitfarms and CleanSpark seem to be the most oversold on this list versus their performance. I will add one more to that, which is Iris Energy, stock ticker IREN. I also think that's a potential opportunity. So again, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you guys to buy those stocks. Please do your own due diligence. You will see by these gigantic red lines, things have not been going well for the Bitcoin miners over the last 3 months. So high risk, high volatility. So please be very careful trading these stocks. Okay, now I'm going to go to the Bitcoin chart itself. This is Bitcoin on the 15-minute time frame. As always, there's an orange line from where the markets closed on Friday. So Friday, when the U.S. equity markets closed, Bitcoin was at 16,573. You can see it's been above that ever since. We're just about 24 hours later. We're up about 1.5% at the moment. So some fairly tight trading, but at least it is to the upside. What we want to avoid here is a cascading effect downwards. Bitcoin had a very bad week last week. So any stability here I'm viewing as a positive. Just to put things in perspective, this red line here at 17,567, this was where Bitcoin hit in June when it flash crashed. Even by the end of the day on that day, Bitcoin was up almost back to 19,000. Since this 4-hour candle early Wednesday morning, we have been below this line. This line, which was support for the last 5 months, has now turned into resistance. You'll see this was a big test and a big failure of that line. It seems like we are starting to go sideways a little bit. So the technicals are very wish-washy. I don't know where we go from here. I do have a new line. I'm going to go to the 1-day time frame first. So in a little over a month, Bitcoin went up about 18%. I'm not even counting that as a relief rally. I was looking for a relief rally to get to at least 22,500, and we were targeting 25,000. So we didn't get to any of those numbers. We did get to about 21,400. So we fell short of our targets here, and now we've clearly turned around. So I've added a new line, and it's actually an old line that I put back on here, and I'm going to show you where I got it from. And that line is at around just under 15,600. This yellow line is the 200-week moving average. Bitcoin has been above the 200-week moving average basically for its entire existence. There have been 2 times that it dipped below that. Each time, within a week, it was back above, so they were very quick, short flash crashes below. Both of those other 2 times, Bitcoin actually flash crashed 30% below the 200-week moving average. So back on this day in June, when we crossed the 200-week moving average, that's when I set up this purple line. So you'll see that's a 30% move to the downside from the 200-week moving average. So the one thing I'll say is that it looks like over the last few days, we pretty much came down and tested this exact line. So I'm adding that line back on the board. I do think that's support. So that would mean that this is the 3rd time in history Bitcoin's gone below the 200-week moving average. And now this is the 3rd time that it's had a 30% pullback in total. The difference being the other 2 times were within days or a week. This time was 5 months later. So this definitely does feel different. If this line doesn't hold, I will look for the next line of support. I do have a couple other lines below this. This was our flash crash low from the summer. So we've still only been under this for just a few days. So there's still time to recover and get above this and turn this back into a line of support. That is what I'm hoping. Alternatively, if that doesn't happen, we may start to cascade downward and have to create new lines of support. In the meantime, here's that purple line. This purple line is new, although it's old. I created this line in June. That is a 30% pullback from the 200-week moving average. So you can see we almost perfectly tested this. We candle wicked just a tiny bit below, but that was a very solid test of this, and it has held since then. So we will have to wait and see what happens. So that's my update on Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. So stay tuned. I will be getting a lot more videos out on Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners and the cryptocurrency world, as so much has happened. Again, I've got a bunch of videos to make, so over the course of the next week, stay tuned for those videos. Thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far, please remember to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next video.